Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's illustration, I will be cutting female senator wear, female senator top and the pants, the trouser. So I'll be cutting it with this material. But before I proceed, I want to thank all my subscribers. Please, if you are new to my channel, you're highly welcome. Please subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Then my old subscribers, I thank you all for supporting my video. Please watch my video, watch till the end so that you will understand what I'm doing. Try to watch till the end. Alright? Subscribe to my video, like my video, share my video. Then comment if you have any question or anything that you want me to work on. Please drop it on a comment box, then I'll go through it and work on it. Alright, let's proceed. The length of the senator I'm cutting is 29 inches. 29 inches. So I'll be adding extra 1 inch for I'll be adding extra 2 inch, for sewing allowance and hemming allowance. That will make it 31 inches. So on this senator, I'll be using the biggest measurement to mark out the dress I'm cutting. So the biggest measurement I'm using is the hip measurement, and the front and the back is not the same length. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I'll cut this out, then I'll now cut out the back panel. The back panel, I'll be adding 2 extra inches on it. So this is it for the front panel. Please, if you have your pin, you can use your pin to hold the material. Then to cut out the back panel, I'll be adding extra 3 inches for the back panel. So here is the extra 3 inches for the back panel. So I'll cut it out. So now I've cut it all out. So to cut the upper part, I'll now shift this front panel up, making sure that it's lap with the back one. I hope you can see it. So I'll now insert my shoulder. The shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches. So I'll mark my 8 inches, adding extra half inch for joining allowance. You know I'll join the shoulder together with the sleeve. So I'll mark my 8 inches. Then I put my shoulder slope. The shoulder slope is 2 inches. So from here I will slope it, I'll slant it down to the 2 inches from the top here. So this is my shoulder slope. I'll cut it, both the front and the back together. After cutting it, then I'll shift the front one to the down so that it will rhyme up with the back. So after doing that, I will now fold the back one. I will now fold the back one to join the front. Make sure it's touching on the front panel. So after marking the shoulder slope, I'll now shift the front back. Then I fold the back one, because remember the back one is 3 inches longer than the front one. So all I have to do now is to insert my bust where my armhole will stop. So from here, whatever I get here is what I will measure here. From here I measured 9 inches where my armhole will start, 9 inches, and from here the same thing. So after measuring 9 inches, after marking 9 inches, I will now insert my shoulder measurement. The shoulder is 16 divided by 2, which give me 8 inches. So I'll mark my 8 inches. So this is the 8 inches. So then now I will insert my bust measurement. Bust measurement divided by 4. Oh, my bust is 38. The bust measurement is 38 divided by 4 will give me 9.5. 9.5 plus 2 inches sewing plus 3 inches sewing allowance. 9.5 plus 3 is 12.5. Then from my bust I'll get my waist, which is 7 inches from the bust. So the waist measurement is 34. 34 divided by 4 will give me 8.5 plus 3 inches sewing allowance, which is 11.5. Then the down part, my hip measurement, the hip is 40 by 4, which is 10. 10 plus 3 inches is 13. So I'll mark the 13 inches. So from there I'll connect the line. So this is it for the line. Then the side will have a slit. So the slits I will use 6 inches for the slit. So I'll mark 6 inches from here. Then I'll add extra 1.5 inches for the slit. So that's what I have here. 1.5 inches for the slit. Then to the neck, the wideness of the neck will be 3 inches, while the depth as in the front will be, I'll use 4 inches for the front. The wideness of the neck 3/4. Then to put my armhole, I'll come to the midpoint and mark the midpoint of my shirt. The armhole is 9, so I'll mark 4.5. You know, this the two. I'm cutting both the front and the back together. So for the back armhole, I'll carve just directly. Then for the front armhole, I'll come inward by 1/2 inch. From that 1/2 inch, I'll connect it back to the armhole. So this is for the back armhole and this is for the front armhole. So I'm done with the cutting both the front and the back. I made the explanation earlier, so I'll be cutting it out for you to see what I marked. So to cut the neck, I won't be holding the two necks together. I won't be holding the two necks together. This is the front. I will only hold this front one. I'll raise the front up. I won't be cutting both the front and back together. So after cutting the front, this is the front. I'll now open the back panel. This is the back. I'll now mark I'll now follow the mark. This is the mark. So I'll mark it following I'll cut it following the mark. I hope you can see it very well. Hope you see how I mark it. I cut it out. Let me zoom it so that you can see what I'm doing. So I've cut out the back neck and this is the front neck. So the next thing, I'll cut the both sides. Remember I added 2 inches for side slit. Then I'll fold the back again. I'll fold it back to cut the armhole. So I just cut out the back armhole. Right now I'll cut the front armhole. So this is it for female senator, both the front and the back. I hope you understand what I did. So I cut everything together. This is the front and the back. Remember the back is 3 inches longer than the front. And you see how I cut out 1 inch and 2 inches for the shoulder slope. Then I fold it, making sure that it join up with the front one so that it will have the same length. So after sewing it now, you realize that this shoulder will go back to the normal place where it's supposed to be. So this is senator wear. It doesn't it's not cut the same way we cut normal blouses and normal peplum top, you understand. So, and I added my sewing allowance, every allowances that I needed on it. So this is it for the senator wear. Then I'll move down to cut the pant, the trouser, the female trouser. The trouser length I'm cutting, the trouser length is 30, the trouser length is 40 inches. Then I'll be adding extra 2 inches. I'll add extra 3 inches for 1 inch for sewing allowance and 2 inch for hemming allowance. So that will give me 43 in total. So I've marked my 43 inches. So from this place I mark the length, I will get the waist. So it will serve me as the waist, sorry. So from here, from the waist I'll mark my hip. The hip measurement is 9 inches. And from the waist to crunch, the crunch measurement is 12 inches. It's 12 inches. The crunch measurement is supposed to be 13 inches, but because I will add 1 inch bind on it, just a small bind, I'll mark the crunch 12 inches. Your bind, you can make it 1.5, 2 inches, depends the way you want it. Then from the waist to the nail is 18 inches. Though the nail is not necessary, if you like you can insert it, if you don't like you can leave it. But on this one I won't be needing the nail measurement. So from the waist I will mark 1.5 inch inward. Then from that 1.5 inch I will carve it down to the, I'll carve it down to the hip. So I carve it down to the hip, as you can see. Then to the down part I'll mark 1.5 inch also. One and a half inch. Then I will slant it down to the crunch line. If you have your ruler, you can use your ruler. So this is it. I mark 1.5 inch here, I slant it down to the crunch line. I mark 1.5 inch from the waist, I slant it down to the hip line. So I will now insert my waist measurement. The waist measurement is 34 divided by 4 will give me 8.5 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. That will give me 10.5. Then the hip measurement is 40 divided by 2, which is 10 divided by 4, sorry. 10 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. That will give me 12 inches. Then the crunch is 24. 24 divided by 2 will give me, you will divide your crunch by 2, your knee by 2, your ankle by 2. But your waist and your hip, you divide it by 4. So the crunch measurement is 24 divided by 2, which give me 12, plus 2 inches sewing allowance, which give me 14 inches. So I'll connect the line. The line I connected here on the crunch is 12 inches line. This is this is the 14 inches, the sewing allowance. From there, I'll curve it. I'll curve it in. So I hope you can see the curving in. Then the ankle measurement is 12 inches divided by 2 will give me 6, plus 2 inches sewing allowance, that will give me 8. Though I marked 9, I added extra allowance, but you can mark your own exactly the measurement you get after dividing it. So I connect. So this is it for female pants. It's very simple and easy. There is no much. You insert your trouser length. After inserting your trouser length, from the waistline you mark your hip. From the waistline you mark your crotch. Then after that you divide your waist by 4 and mark whatever you get. You divide your hip by 4 and mark whatever you get. Then your crotch you divide it by 2 and mark whatever you have. Then your ankle you divide it by 2. If you're making use of your nail, you divide it by 2. But here I won't be needing nail length. So this is what I have. Then after dividing it, you connect the both lines together. So this is it for the front trouser. I'll cut this one out using it to trace the back one. So now to cut out the back, I place the front panel on the back side. I've placed it on the material. So all I have to do now is to the crotch line, I'll extend it by 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch. Then to the ankle, I'll mark 1 inch there. So from this 1 inch, I'll connect it down to this 1.5 inches. So I've connected the lines. Then the next thing to do is from this 1.5 inch, I'll mark it directly to the arm, as in to this side. I'll mark it directly. I won't be adding anything here. I'll mark it directly this side. Then to the waist here, I'll minus 1 inch from the front. Then I'll add 2 inches. I'll add another 1 inch to the back. I don't know if you're getting me. The front, I'll minus 1 inch. I'll slant it to this side. While the back, I'll mark 2 inches from the slanting line. Let me show you what I'm doing very well. I hope you can see what I'm saying. So this is the front. I'll mark 1 inch here. And I'll slant it down to this side. I'll cut this out. Then from that 1 inch I marked at the front, I'll keep my tape on it and mark 2 inches. Again, that 2 inches will be for the back. The reason I added 2 inches at the back is so that when you wear the pants, it will lap very well at the back. You know, female, we always have hip at the back of in our back, so adding that 2 inches will make it to lap very well on a female hip. So these 2 inches I added at the back, I'll slant it to the side. You see what I'm saying? So I'll cut this one out. So I'll cut this one. This is the front. I raise it up. I'll cut the 1 inch out. I hope you can see it. I cut the 1 inch out. Then to the back, I will start. You see, this is the 2 inches I added after my losing 1 inch from the back, from the front, sorry. So I added 2 inches from the back. So I'll now cut it off. So you see, you understand what I'm talking. I hope you see this. The back is longer than the front. So I will now cut this side directly. I will not be adding anything to this side. Then I'll cut it directly to the 1.5 inch I added at the crunch. Then from there, from the crunch, I'll cut it straight to the 1 inch I added at the ankle. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll be cutting directly. I hope you can see where I'm cutting. So I will now cut this side directly, the same length with the front. I won't be adding anything on it. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. I hope you can see it, the front and the back. This is what I have for female panties. I would love to re-explain what I did on the back panel. After putting the front, I mark 1.5 inch to the crunch. I mark 1 inch to the back. The reason is because the back needs to be bigger than the front, so that it can size the person who has it. You understand? You know, our back is bigger than the front side of our body. So I added 1.5 inch to the crunch, then 1 inch to the ankle. I connect it. Then to the upper side, I minus 1 inch from the front. I slant it down to this side. Then I add 2 inches from that point, from that front where I minus 1 inches. I add 2 inches to the back, and I slant it to the side. Then I cut it out. So this is it for the female panties. Then after this, I will be making a video on how to sew it. This video is actually on how to cut it. I'll make a video on how to sew a female pant and a female senator. All right, thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much for supporting me. Please subscribe. Click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified. Subscribing is free of charge. You are not meant to pay. All right, please subscribe. Thank you so much. I love you guys. See you on my next video. Bye.